Welcome back. This is Management Consulting 101, where I'll be sharing tips, strategies, tricks to make your application stand out if you are considering transitioning into management consulting. I'm Gladys, a PhD and engineer who decided to transition into management consulting, and I'll be sharing all the things that I've been learning through this journey. Today's setup looks slightly different from the normal setup. I'm sitting recording this by my window. This is my working desk behind me here, overlooking outside. And I like working from this desk because I can see what's going on outside. The cars, the people walking, and part of the city. And today looks really beautiful with the sun out. Anyway, it looks this way because today we are recording sort of a vlog. And I'll be telling you guys or sharing day in life of a management consultant. I know you've seen somewhere on the internet the stereotype of a consultant, that they travel quite a lot. They live out of their suitcases. They are always in hotels, in boardrooms. That is true, but also not all the time. So today, let me share one typical scenario. There are normally 4 scenarios. One scenario that I'll be sharing today is when you are working from your home office. So you are not traveling, you're working from the office. The second scenario is you are traveling to co-locate with the other team members, to work together with other team members, especially if your team has members from different offices. Sometimes even, I think some of the firms have team members working from different countries, and they have to occasionally travel to just work from one place. And then the third scenario is if you're traveling to work from the client site. So for instance, if you're working on, say, a manufacturing site, like if you're working with a client who has a case or project is at the manufacturing site. So you have to travel there to be where the plant is. And then the fourth one is if you are in between projects. So you ended your project. So projects normally are staffed between, you work on a project like 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months at a time. There are periods where you are not working on an active project, and so you are on the beach. And so that is a fourth scenario where you are waiting to be staffed on the next project. And it can last like maybe 1 day, maybe 2 days, maybe 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe even a month sometimes while you are in between projects. So in the coming weeks, months, I'll be sharing all those 4 scenarios. But today, let's focus on a typical-ish day for many early career consultants, associates, analysts, especially in the first few months, in their first year. They are most likely will be working from their home office. So let me share my typical working from my home office day. The cadence from waking up in the morning, I literally just listed main things that happen actually. So let me actually read it through, and then we'll go into details, and I'll be sharing some footages of actual life. So I have, 10 major things that happen when I'm working from my home office. The first one is wake up, of course, in the morning, commute, prep for the day, check in, work, lunch, work again, check out, and then workout, dinner or group dinner, and then commute back home, and then complete pending urgent work, evening routine or wind down, and then sleep. So let's start from my morning routine. What time do I wake up? Knowing how valuable sleep is, my sleep time is non-negotiable, and I try to sleep at least 7 hours. Before, I used to feel guilty that maybe I'm not working as hard as other people, but if you know the power of sleeping well or enough sleep at night, and how you become productive the following day, then you will do whatever necessary within your means to ensure you sleep well. So I try at least 7 hours. Occasionally, when the project is too tight and we have to work into the night, like up to midnight sometimes, then maybe there is a compromise there. But normally I sleep around 11 or midnight, and I wake up around 7 or 7:30. Wake up, freshen up. I'm a single woman with no dependents living with me, and so my morning routine is not that crazy. So after I wake up, getting ready is super fast. And also, I do not take breakfast, mostly because my stomach, for some weird reason, in the morning, my stomach is just too slow. And so my first meal of the day, most of the time, I occasionally do take breakfast, and breakfast I mean tea and something. or coffee and some accompaniment. But most of the days, I would just drink some water, and then my first meal of the day will be around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. And so get ready, I quickly freshen up, and then I dress up. Consulting, management consulting particularly, is client-facing profession. Code of dressing is pretty high standard. Depends on country to country, office to office, firm to firm, but it's normally elevated business casual or above, depending on so many reasons, depending on which scenario you are working with. So for instance, if you are traveling to a client site and maybe your client tells their dressing code is formal, so you obviously want to do formal. But if there is no dress code prescribed, elevated business casual or business casual is what many people go by. So blazer, decent blouse, a skirt, jeans. So my firm and my office are pretty okay with jeans. So I actually prefer jeans personally. So jeans, even sneakers, decent sneakers, they are okay with that. And so I normally just like sneakers and jeans and then a decent blazer and a blouse to make it business casual. Let's watch this detailed get ready with me video that I did one of the normal days when I was working from the office. Let's get ready to go to work. Day in life of a management consultant. So this is Friday morning. So today I will show you a typical Friday when I'm working in my home office. This is morning of Friday. I'm just getting ready, almost done, and then we will head out to my office in Boston. So last few things. So our office is the office culture differs from one country to another, from one office to another. But in our office, it's pretty casual. Not really casual, but like, I don't know, how do you call this? Is this smart casual? So they allow sneakers, as long as they're decent sneakers. They allow jeans, and then just, I don't know, just this kind of look is acceptable. Some people like to dress up a little bit. Some people like to dress down. I personally like to keep it in between there. But if you are traveling to a client site, you 100% have to do business casual. Not business, yeah, you have to, no, business wear. You have to do business wear. And that means maybe jeans, a nice blouse and a blazer or something that goes business, that speaks business. Or whatever. If the client is formal, then it's formal for sure. So we like to dress according to clients, or even just a little bit, you take it a little bit higher. Simple lotion, oil my face. I think it looks good. I like short hair. My hair is it's very hard to handle. So I don't like keeping it long, because then it's so difficult to detangle and just make it and to make it look professional. I don't know, look nice and presentable. And so I like to keep it short so that I can just brush it and style the way I like it. Valentino, I really like I like this. And then today we are just keeping the earrings. I like jewelry, and I also like to keep it minimal. So let's do this. Today we are doing these little earrings. I'm doing that little earrings. I normally like loops actually. I think you've seen on my videos, I like wearing loops, bigger earrings. But today for work, I like to keep it not too much. And also I'm not using loops today, big loops today, because I like necklaces. So I want to put on this necklace. It's a little bit, it has like three lines on it. So with big earrings, it will be just too much. So let's keep it simple and sweet. That looks perfect. That is it. That is pretty much it. And then I just more lip gloss. That's it. And and we are ready for our Friday. Let's go into the office and I will be showing you how the office looks like. After dressing up, checking, admiring myself from the mirror, next up, commute. I do not own a car by design. I live in a pretty walkable city where pretty much everything is in one place. And so it's super easy to commute to work, and the public transport is fairly okay. And when I was looking for an apartment, I was considering two main things. I wanted an apartment that has a gym. Number two, I wanted an apartment that is walking distance from the office. So in the summer, I literally stroll. In the evening after the checkout, and we'll talk about the checkout. After the checkout, normally people commute back home, and then whatever work left, you can continue working at home after your evening routine. So there is normally like a 2-hour or a 3-hour break after like 5 p.m. and you can do whatever you want. And so normally in the summer, I literally just walk home. And I like walking because for some weird reasons, all my amazing ideas, I've actually gotten them while I was while walking. So I now try to just, if there is a problem that I'm trying to solve at work or even just on my own personal projects, I would just take a long walk. And for weird reasons, my brains just cooperate. And I get like creative ideas when I'm walking. And so I like to walk a lot. Anyway, on this day, most of the days, especially in the winter, I use public transport to work. Public transport my apartment is around 10-15 minutes away. And so I walk to the nearest train stop. I take the train. Once I'm at the office, I quickly go through my priorities for the day, deliverables due that day or that week, any upcoming client meetings for that day. I prepare talking notes for check-in. As a consultant, you will likely be owning a module or a work stream, as they like to call it, and you want to be the project manager pretty much of that work. So a work stream, I mean, if the problem, say, if the case or the project is about, say, take an example, easy example like profitability. We want to figure out why this company is not as profitable as before. So as you can imagine, roughly, if you're dealing with profitability and you do not know where the problem is, you could be looking at the revenue side, you could be looking at the cost side. So one work stream, for instance, would be on the revenue side. It can also be split up to, say, pricing and whatever under that revenue, but say it's just a simple project. So one person is looking at the revenue side, one person is looking at the cost side, just so they're like clear. They call them clear swim lanes, so that there is no unnecessary duplication of effort or of work. And so say if I'm owning revenue side of the module, then I literally am in charge of where that revenue module goes with the guide of the project leader, of course, and senior team members. But you pretty much want to drive the project, asking, this is what I need next, or these are the risks. We don't have data on this work stream, and it might actually impact how much progress we make, or just checking what do we need to move forward, what are some of the risks, what are some of the key meetings we need to ensure that this module progresses well. Then check-in. This is the most important part of the day. So check-in and check-out are the most important part of working in a team in a fast-paced environment. When I started this work, I was so overwhelmed the first few months because I just felt like it was just too much. Like you have to check in with your team and your project leader twice a day, sometimes even more, depending on how complex the project is. And comparing to when I was in academia, when I was doing my PhD, literally there were days I would go like 3 months without speaking with my advisor. I would just be cranking things, doing experiments and whatever, or preparing a research paper, and we'll meet like after 2 months or after 3 months. Then you come to a situation where you're meeting with your manager twice or even more per day, showing your progress and things like those. So it's super fast paced. It took a lot of months before I acclimatized. So what happens during check-in? Check-in normally is with your teammates and the leader of the team leader. The size of the team will differ based on the project you are working on. It could be like 2 people, literally. It could be you and the project leader, and that is it. Of course, there are senior leaders like the managing partners and so forth and so on. But on a daily basis, the people you interact with a lot are your team members and the team leader. So it can be 2 people, it can be 3, it can be even up to 10. So during check-in, you want to understand what is everyone doing. Most of these work streams, they do not work alone. They work in tandem, in sync. And so it's important that you keep updating your hypothesis or your analysis based on the input or the insights that the other team members are also getting. So during check-in, number 1, you want to understand what everyone else is doing, the insights that they are giving. Number 2, it's important to align so that it's efficient. What are important deliverables for this week from the entire team, etc. Next, lunch. Lunch differs a lot from office to office, country to country. I've been in offices where literally most people will just walk to cafeteria and take lunch together. And some offices where people literally take your lunch and back to your desk. So it depends on how busy the project is. Sometimes you do not have time to go sit for long hours to take your lunch. So I forgot to mention that there is normally alone time. You have an alone time to work on your problems or to attend meetings, depending on what time the meetings are. So you have like time block to work on your problem, to make progress in your module. Same thing. After lunch, you have, I don't know how many hours. So if lunch is around 12 noon, checkout normally for many people is 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So you have the entire afternoon to continue making progress in your module. So how does that look like? You're just staring at the computer and trying to figure out making progress on your module. It could be research you're doing. It could be an Excel you're analyzing. It could be you have the data ready and you need to put the story in form of slides. And so maybe that is what you are trying to do in the afternoon. Whatever it is, most of the time you have your personal time to work on the project. Check out, you come back and you share what is remaining or the challenge you are facing, what is remaining from your days to do. And everyone kind of shares that, and then maybe 1 or 2 things that you want to do before you log off the day. Or if it's not a super busy project, it's pretty much like I need to send some emails tonight before I sleep, and then I will continue working tomorrow. But if it's a busy project, most of the time you still have 1 or 2 things on your plate to do before you sleep, depending on how busy the project is. After checkout, many people will take 1 hour, 2 hours in the evening if you're lucky. Sometimes you might not have that luxury, and after checkout, you go back to your desk and address whatever is needed, depending on the urgency of the work. But if it's super long project, say 6 months, and it's pretty flexible and not too urgent. So after checkout, you have 1 hour, 2 hours to do whatever you want to do. And so most of the people will do a workout. If it's summer, for me, I'll take a lazy stroll. I occasionally just stroll past my apartment, aiming for 1 hour long walks, listening to a podcast or just some music. Now it's like 8 p.m. You dedicate another 1 hour, like 8 to 9, to complete whatever was needed, and also to just plan ahead. It helps to plan ahead so that you have a super easy morning. Otherwise, your morning will be all over the place if you do not plan your day. So I would occasionally just sit on my desk like 8 to 9 and then write whatever emails I need to write, maybe an update to my team leader of what I've done and things that I need them to do. Then do your evening routines. My evening routines, most of the time, super basic. Number 1 is Netflix. The easiest way for me to let my mind rest and get out of work is just watching random YouTube videos or just catching an interesting show on Netflix. Occasionally, if I'm not feeling like Netflixing, I do crochet. There is a way, I do not understand how that works. It's like meditation for me. When I start crocheting, there is no way my mind thinks think of anything else. Like my mind is literally there. And so when I crochet, I also try to get like complicated patterns that will need my brains to be literally there. And so it's normally a way for me, if I'm feeling anxious and all over the place in my mind, crocheting grounds me. And so that is something that I do occasionally when my mind is all over the place. Then I sleep. Normally I sleep around 11:30 midnight. Occasionally I sleep at midnight because maybe I found myself on TikTok and I was just doom scrolling. If I'm being honest, there are days I've actually slept at 1 a.m. just because I doom scrolled on TikTok. But I try to have at least 7 hours of sleep. There is one scenario where you are working from your home office. So that is day in life of a management consultant working from their home office. The other scenarios I'll make sure to share in the coming months. Until the next episode, all the best.